Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is by any means. There go to Cash App, $ Deem by any means. There go to PayPal at Deem by any means. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It's much appreciated. Um, Xander Zayas is going against Patrick Teixeira. And I think this is going to be a massacre, y'all. I'm just so happy to see Wolverine back there in action, man. He going up against a gritty vet. And I just think that Xander Zayas is just one of the best prospects in boxing. I think besides Abdullah Mason, he's the second best prospect in boxing. That's in my humble opinion. If you've been following this channel and you know Dean, you know that Xander Zayas is one of my favorite fighters, and they fighting this weekend. I think they fighting tomorrow. When they fight, I think they might be fighting today. Whenever they fight, they fighting. Hold on, I gotta find out exactly what day they fight. Hold on, yo, because I believe they fighting this weekend. But anyway, Xander Zayas is just I call him the Wolverine, man, because he's just relentless. If you watched X-Men growing up, right? And you know how you played Marvel versus Capcom and things like that, and you know how Wolverine fight and the combinations when you keep tapping. I forget what buttons that was, but when you keep tapping and he do the slice and claw move, ha, it was unstoppable. You feel what I'm saying? Xander Zayas fights similarly. When he on you, he is a pressure fighter, but he's a boxer though. See, that's the thing that makes Xander Zayas such a great prospect. Oscar De La Hoya ish, if that makes sense to you. But I think he got even more power than that, and like just more style. I don't think he as good as Oscar is. He got a lot to grow, but I think he can do similar things that Oscar did, and could possibly reign supreme and things like that the same way Oscar did. But Xander Zayas, they fight in Puerto Rican Day. I know they fighting on Puerto Rican Day parade up there in New York. And let me tell you, fellas, it is going to be amazing up there if you are in the Puerto Rican women. I'm gonna just tell y'all that now. So they picked the perfect day to have him fighting up there, in New York. So I'm very happy for that Xander Zayas is getting that opportunity. Patrick Teixeira is a southpaw Brazilian. He one of those guys, yo, that if you're not a diehard boxing fan, because even myself, even though I'm a hardcore boxing fan, y'all, I don't know all boxers. Like I could know them, but some of you gotta. I'm one of these people, y'all, where you gotta earn me being interested in you enough to take my time out to talk about you on my channel. Just because you a boxer, don't mean you deserve for me to be talking about you. Okay, Patrick Teixeira is one of those boxers, and no disrespect to him, that you ever have a fighter where you've watched him multiple times, but you ain't know, like you forgot that that's him. Like it's not memorable. You just like, oh yeah, I see him fight. Yeah, I definitely see him. You know what I mean? He's one of those fighters, but he's a dog though. Like I said, over a 50% knockout ratio he got. And he's southpaw. But the problem is with Patrick Teixeira going up against Xander Zayas is I've seen Patrick Teixeira come back against Carlos Adames, and I mean, Carlos was throwing everything in the kitchen sink at the man, okay? So I have seen him deal with a pressure fighter. The problem is he didn't like it, though. And I don't think nobody do, but he almost crumbled to that for sure. He was able to bounce back and make one of the best comebacks I have seen in boxing. I got to give him that. He's That's one of the best comebacks I've seen. But with that being said, somebody that's as steady as a Xander Zayas, as talented, as agile. Now, I don't think Xander Zayas hits as hard as Carlos Adames, but I think he's more explosive, more disciplined, more agile, better lateral movement. Um, can't say he's more relentless because Carlos Adames is one of the most relentless fighters in boxing. You know what I mean? But Xander Zayas, he works behind the jab also. He's a boxer with a lot of aggression. He not just throwing all power shots and all that, even though most of his punches are going to be that. And I just think Xander Zayas is going to work that body. I think Xander Zayas is going to be first. Y'all always hear me talk about being first. Y'all always hear me talk about being first. And what I mean by that is when two fighters are sizing each other up. All right, prime example. What Terrence Crawford was doing to Earl Spence Jr. every time he dropped him, or it got tricky in there for Earl. It was because Earl would open up to try to land something, and Terrence Crawford's punches will get there first. That's what I mean when y'all hear me say you got to be first. In the midst of exchanges, your punches got to get there before his does, because a lot of times, y'all, when that happens, that's when the fighters get hurt. That's when we start screaming and like, oh, that's normally when that happens. And you have to be first, and I know Xander Zayas will be, and that's the problem right there. Because Patrick Teixeira don't have the punch placement that Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas' punch placement is some of the best in boxing. His ring generalship is some of the best in boxing. And his defense, to me, is better than Patrick Teixeira. So when I got to deal with all of those factors, you know what that sounds like to me, y'all? That sounds like somebody about to go in there and get beat up. That's what it sounds like to me. Some fighters is just a bad matchup for you. Some fight, not saying you can't overcome that, like the way Patrick Teixeira did against Carlos Adames. Not saying that you can't come back from it and do your thing, but it doesn't mean that when you fight somebody that might have that similar style, that's going to work again. If you understand what I'm saying, you might got out of there that one time, or 2 or 3 times, but it don't mean you're gonna be 10 for 10 against a younger, fresher fighter that got 10, 11 years older than he. So it's just a different beast. And the thing about Xander Zayas has a lot of experience, even at the young age of 21. See, that's the other problem too. The lights ain't gonna be too big for Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas is gonna be ready to go. You know what I'm saying? He really kind of gonna be looking past you. And I don't mean that I think that Xander Zayas loses discipline like that, like he's gonna take him lightly or anything. But Xander Zayas has much bigger aspirations in the sport of boxing. And I truly believe that he gonna reign supreme at that 154 division unless Jaron Ennis come up there, or Terrence Crawford stays around long enough where Xander Zayas to get that opportunity. But I don't think that a Terrence Crawford 2-3 years from now will be willing to take a Xander Zayas fight. If you feel what I'm saying, that's too much. That's too much. That's a lot. Now I don't put it past Crawford, because we don't know how Terrence Crawford going to look these next 2 years. He could still look amazing. You see, Beterbiev still knocking people out at 40, at 39 years old. So it's definitely possible. I don't put nothing past, especially when you with the snack program. I'm just saying, I ain't gonna put nothing past my guy, because Terrence Crawford, my guy. I mean, at the end of the day, his talent is unmatched. But I will be remiss if I didn't be honest and act like I don't see the talent oozing out of Xander Zayas' pores. If you have not, and you are not hit to Xander Zayas, I suggest you go on your YouTube and you go get hit to Xander Zayas. Just an amazing kid, man. Just somebody that I think has a great future. That, let's say, y'all, that Jaron Ennis will be the Floyd of the situation, of that division, the 154, because they both younger guys. I mean, he younger than even but Jaron Ennis is. But I definitely see Xander Zayas being able to be a Pacquiao, though. Even if he lose to maybe the top guy or the top 2 guys, he gonna probably beat everybody else, though, and that's the problem. If you understand what I'm saying, if you understand, type understand. If you if you understand what I'm saying, that's what I see for his future. Because I don't see nobody at those divisions that can stop that I think more talented than him, that I think he really got to worry about if they got into the ring. Xander Zayas, man, is very impressive, man. He relentless. Now, don't get it twisted. Patrick Teixeira might come in here and shock you. Why I say that is because he's a dog, man. And if he catch you and he can hurt you, Patrick Teixeira can hurt you, put you out. Yes. And if he got the opportunity to, he will do it. Patrick Teixeira is like that. Is he fight almost like a cobra or a rattlesnakes in the whims. Like he'll sit there and take the punishment, but then he'll come back with something, and then next thing you know, the fight is much different now. It's like he's a master at that trait though. Like so, he's put it like this: he's always a live dog, unless he is out and a ref steps in that ring. Patrick Teixeira is always a live dog during that fight. That's what I mean. And I think Xander Zayas know that. And that's when he's going to come out here and perform like he should. So I wanted to give Wolverine his credit, man. I call him Wolverine, man, because that's what I see. And that's when I look at Xander Zayas, that's who I see. If I'm putting him to one of them superheroes or a Marvel character or a Capcom character, that's his Rumble style. You feel what I'm saying? Or he going in for the kill, eye of the tiger. And he don't stop. He don't wear down. He has a very good gas tank. So he's a lot to deal with. He's focused on what he's trying to do to you. I've rarely have seen him break focus on trying to break you down. He gonna hit the shoulder, he gonna hit the body, he gonna hit the neck, he gonna do whatever he gotta do to make you fight. You have to fight Xander Zayas, all because he's too good of a boxer on the other end for you to think you're gonna jab him and running around the ring. Like that's not gonna work with him. That's not going to work with him. That wouldn't work with him if you was Terrence Crawford or Jaron Ennis. You have to do much more than that to beat him. But that's why I know that Xander Zayas is on that upper echelon of fighters. He's somebody that don't get talked about enough, in my opinion, and that makes me upset. And it'd be hard for me to do it because I'm running a business. I got the channel I'm running. It'd be so many other topics in boxing. You got to talk about what's hot. As y'all know me, I don't go with the status quo all the time. So I try to, things I'm passionate about, I'm definitely going to speak on regardless of the views or however it turned out. You did what I'm saying? I'm going to speak on what I need to speak on. And I think that Xander Zayas is probably the second best prospect in boxing. Him, Abdullah Mason. I like Shushu. Shushu also fighting this weekend, I believe. I like Shushu, but I just think those two specifically. Carmel Moten, I'll put with Shushu, Carmel Moten, Abdullah Mason, Xander Zayas. I put all of them as like just up and coming stars and up and coming people you got to really keep your eye on if you love the sport of boxing, man. So y'all know what this is, man. Deem by any means. And I holla at y'all.